Hey guys, this is Coding with Q, and I'm going to show you something I'm working on in the turtle module. So let's check it out. Uh, yeah, so I I know a little bit about the turtle module, but not a lot, and so I've spent the last little bit trying to figure this out, and I'm pretty sure I know what's going on now. Uh, as far as when you call a circle, you can say circle 100, and that just means that's the size of the radius. But a circle actually takes three arguments. It takes the radius, the extent, and the steps. So like, for instance, if I draw, I'll just show you like this. Okay, so circle 100. We have speed set to 0. I mean, we can set this to 5 just so as you can actually see it. Check it out. Oh, run it. Sorry. It draws it, right? Okay. Actually, one thing. Let's do this. By 720. This is just gonna, hell no. This is just gonna make our screen bigger. Okay, one more time. A circle. Boom. So that basically default takes all of the other arguments. It's saying complete a circle. The second phase of this, just applying the second argument, gets you this. Whoop. Radius, that's 100, so that means that the diameter of the circle itself will be 200, and then extent. So if I was to tell you, I want you to run a mile, and then I see you the next day, and I say, hey, did you run a mile? And you say, well, not quite. And I was like, and then I say, okay, so like, what extent of the mile did you run? Um, I mean, that's a sort of not the greatest analogy, but basically, I would be asking you, what portion of it did you run, right? And so that's what this is asking. How much would you like it to run? So 90. We're saying again the radius is 100 and the extent that we want drawn is 90%, well, 90 degrees. Sorry. So it'll be 90, and so you can kind of see where this is going. Uh, let's do 45 so you can get a for sure idea. 45, and then you saw 90 was, let's do it like this. Okay, 45, let's go 90, and then let's go 180, and then let's do 360, right? Okay, so 45, okay. This, go back 90, okay. Plot that out. Run this 180. So it's running a half. Perfect. And then of course 360, you can guess and imagine, is a complete circle. Like I said, it takes the default. So that this is the same as running circle 100. But what's this third argument? Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So, and then 3. This is steps. So 100 is the radius, the extent of the shape 360, so all of it, because we're using this as a standard now. It's a shape here, but you'll see why it's like a standard. So the complete extent of a circle is 360, and so now this is representing the entirety of something, and this is representing something. It's sort of a weird way to explain it, and so we want something with to be this big, let's just say, we want it to be completely done, but we want it to be done in 3 steps. So what would that make? I mean, you probably won't guess this because I didn't. I mean, not that I have to know it till you know it, but uh, it draws a triangle. And so I was like, oh, okay, so this dictates like a complete shape now. So if I did 4, what are we thinking it would be? It's a square. So this blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, like, okay, so literally, I mean, and you can take this all the way up. I mean, you want a pentagram or a pentagon? Yeah, pentagon. 9. Um, yeah, and so the higher the number gets, uh, the more faces, the more smooth it looks. And so that's why when you leave it default, it essentially looks like, well, it just takes the argument of it just being, if this is defaulted, it's a circle. If this is defaulted, it's just a circle. It's when you start adding these things in that it becomes something else. And so that's like a quick little summary of how this works. Now, let's blot this out and let's look at the simplest one. You can't see it, or you can see it. 1, 2, 3. So it wants you to, basically we've told it to do 45 degrees of a circle at 3 steps, right? So that's why you see the little bitty 45, just like we've seen earlier, except it's bent into 3 steps. And then, of course, you could imagine the same for this, except it's what am I doing? It's 90 degrees of the circle, except for 3 steps. Okay. Same, right? So now it's 180 degrees of the circle, except in 3 steps, 3 lines. And as this starts getting bigger, it starts taking on the shape of something else, right? And that's why when you have this is actually a perfect example. You would think almost you still have the chance of becoming a circle here, right? But when you take, I'm pointing at the screen with my hand. Yeah, okay, I can let go. When you take this 180 that's got us here and say, no, it needs to be done at 360. Well, it makes this go here, and it knows it needs to be complete in 2 more steps. So the only way to get complete, to get back over here in 2 more steps, and for it to be even, is to, instead of going out, to go in. And then obviously your last step is in. And so that's where the logic comes from. I didn't know this. I literally just discovered this by playing with it. And I'm sure there's like a million of these tutorials out there, but yeah, dude, this just like blew my mind. So this is really cool because you can like start like really messing around with different things. So like, for instance, let's do like this. Let me go down. Okay, let's do this. 96. Okay, so you can't really see it. If we wanted to get like super nuanced, we could use a for loop, which I was doing up here, and start changing the color every segment. That way you can actually see the difference. But yeah, this was just really cool, and so I wanted to show you all that. But yeah, to end on something, I'll show you something that I'm working on right now, which is a for loop inside of a for loop, and we've imported the random module, and we basically have 2 lists, and they hold they're holding strings that are recognized as colors, basically. And so background is going to be a consistent color, and then every time we iterate, it's going to basically take that string in and use the modulo by the amount of items in that list change the color that many times each time, and then let's just do this. I think the color was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this was actually like giving sort of an error. I don't know. Or really, it wasn't that one. Let me copy. Okay. Do this because I don't want to lose track of what I had going on. Okay, check this out. So this is pretty nifty. I thought this was like super cool. A circle and a circle and a circle, you know, except the circle in the middle is being created by the negative space. And so one of the things that was initially happening was if you don't add the, scoot this over, let it keep going. If you're not adding a directional change and the plus so much, so you could have just say right 10 and then it would do this. But if you didn't and you just said 10 plus 20, it would just draw it over the same line each time. And so the reason you're getting a new line in the middle where eventually it'll all link back up is because you're basically saying each time you do this, I want you to do it, except now there's been another value added to it. So this is a for loop in a for loop, so it's a little bit different. And also we're randomizing the color on the inner loop and the outer loop, so it comes out looking like this. But yeah, this is a cool little project, and I'll be releasing a couple more, I want to do a couple extensive little videos on the turtle module, given I've figured out a couple more things. But yeah, if you have any questions or requests, just put it in the comments, and thank you for watching, and subscribe if you haven't.